Okay, so at this point in time, we have our list of fruit baskets up and running. If I click on one, I am seeing that screen. The first thing we need to do now is to actually get the proper basket information onto the screen. Okay, so it's currently, if I click here on edit, I'll see an arbitrary name over here. So what we need to do for that is to make sure that if you look at our factory function, so we have this get basket, so we've got this get basket ID. So if we do this, this should give us our basket, and that way we should be able to put our basket name onto the screen. So let's have a look. So what I need to do here is when I click on edit then, so I'm going to need my factory function. So I will go here and I say const basket, and then I'm going to say fruit basket dot get basket. Okay, and the way I'm going to be getting my basket, you can see I have an ID here, so I can const, I'm going to say basket ID, so I can say rec dot params dot ID, and that's going to be my basket ID, which I'm going to send in here, basket ID. Okay, so I have that there. And now what I want to send in to my template is the basket object. Okay, so looking at this, the basket object. So what I can do now, if I'm going to, so that's going to be the edit file, Control P, and then I can say edit. So I want to do this here. So what we can say now, so over here where we say the basket name, I can replace this. Let me just replace it with basket for now. So if I do this, I should see an object. Yes, so that's a promise. Okay, that's very interesting. So that means that we have not done an async await here. If I do that, I need to do async over there. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, so now I've got an object. Still interesting. Okay, so that says it's an array. So we'll look into that now. So if we look into that basket, so I can look at my tests. So over here, get basket items, get basket. So here's a basket dot description. Okay. So here I can see this is what I want to display on the screen. So what I can say now here at the edit, I can say edit dot handlebars. So here I need to say basket dot description. So if I refresh, let's see, test my basket for fruits. Okay, so let's have a look. Fruit mix 101. Okay, so that works well. So what I don't actually want is I don't want a I don't actually want a field here. So let's just see. I don't want a text input field there. So maybe just like that. What is that looking like? Fruit mix 101. It's not bad. Um, Maybe I can put this in a span, and then I can just give that span class, and then I can just say build, something like that, and then dot build, or maybe no, maybe I don't even need that. So all that I need is I can just put this in a strong tag, Control D, strong, and then I'm doing something like this. So let's see. Okay, Control R. Okay, so now I've got my basket name, comes from the database. So if you go back, so I'm going to save that. If I look at this, so in my index, I've got the basket ID. I'm looking up the basket and passing it to the screen. Okay. So now the other thing we need is I would like to know the actual fruits that that there are that I want to add. So because what we want to do now is we want a few things here. We want to be able to show all the fruit, select the fruit, and then say how many of those fruit should be in our basket. I click submit, and then that should be shown down here, the fruits that's in my basket. You see currently it's empty. So the next thing we need to start out with is the list of the fruits available. So for that, if you look at our factory function, we have something called list fruits. Okay, so what we can do now as well, we can do something very similar to what we've done in the past. So over here, so we're going to say list fruits, the no parameter here, and we have fruits. Okay, fruits like that. And then I'm also passed let fruits go through to the front end. So what I want to do now is I want to show all the fruits in a list over here, okay, on the drop down. So in this case, what I want to do is, let me just close all my screens. Then I'm going to go to edit.js. So what we need to do now, so here, you see here, we want to say hash each fruits, and then we want to say here slash each, okay, and then I want to say I have option, and then we want to basically say the fruit thing here, okay. So let's have a look at our fruits table, how it looks. Easiest way is to look at our SQL at the moment. So you see here we're creating the table, so we've got a name and a price there, okay. At the moment, so what we can do, fruits, I can just say name, okay. I could do, let's just see what that looks like, okay. So if I refresh that now, let's see, okay. Nothing there yet. Oh, there we go. Apples, bananas, pears, oranges, and grapes, okay. So that is that. Okay, so the one thing we also need to do, I need to give the ID here, okay. So I want to have the ID so that I can easily use that in my form. So you'll see now, if we look at view page source, we will have the values there, okay. Why are we seeing these? Okay, so that extra line there was due to that, so that should be a bit better. Okay, there's the IDs, okay. The other thing that I want is I want my fruits to be sorted alphabetically. So I just want us to go here, fruit basket service, list fruit, and then I want to say order by name, and I want that to be ascending. So it goes, so in this case, grape should be higher up. You see now I've got A, B, G. Okay, so that's a bit better. So now things are sorted alphabetically, okay? So in this case, now I can go banana. So now I need to specify a quantity, how many bananas I want. Then if I click submit, we want things to happen. So looking at this, so we don't have this root. The other thing we also want is we want to tell, when we update the basket, we also want to say which ID of the basket we are updating. So I need to work on my roots here a bit. So what I actually want is when we are editing, so there's a form here already. So update, okay, so it is say update ID here already. So let me just see update basket. So where's basket update? So where is this? Basket update fruits form action update basket update. Okay, so what I need to do here is I need to actually say basket.id. Okay, so let's have a look. If I go back here and we say we submit, okay, did I save this? Update basket, let me just check this, refresh all of these things, and we submit this. Okay, so you see now the ID is there. Basket update 39. So now I need a root that takes in a parameter. So I need something very similar to this one. So I called this one update. So edit is kind of showing the screen. So now what I'm going to do for now is I am just going to do res.redirect for now back to, so we want to redirect back to basket edit, and we want to redirect back to the basket ID. Okay, so we want to do something like that, and then what I want to show you, console.log. Then we want to do this is rec.body. So in this way, I'm just getting the flow working. I'm also seeing what data is there for me to capture. So in this case now, if I say grapes and I say 5 and I click submit, I should come back to the same screen. For some reason, I made a mistake. There should be a post route, not a get route. So let's try that again. So we click here on submit and we come back. And if we look at this, you'll see that we've got fruit ID and quantity. Fruit ID and quantity. So we have here fruit ID, quantity, and we have that. So looking at that, fruit ID 2 and the quantity is 12. So if we look at our fruit at our table, let's just look at it quickly. Grade table. So the item is quantity, fruit ID, and basket ID. The other thing I need is a basket ID. So the basket ID is sitting over here. So in our code, what we actually have is we have this ID here, which is the basket ID. So I should have the basket ID available here. So now what we will see, so the important thing here is we are going to have const, which is going to be quantity, and that's going to be rec.body.quantity. And then the other one we're going to be having is fruit ID. Okay, so the other one here is fruit ID, fruit underscore ID. And then here I'm going to have fruit underscore ID. Okay, so and then I've got basket ID on this one. So we're going to do that one. So what I want to do now is I want to add an item to the basket. So what we want to do is, where's this? So let's see. So we have add fruit to basket. So if you look at this, fruit ID, basket ID, and quantity. So we have all of these already. Add fruit to basket. So what we want to see now is all the fruits that's in the basket. So let's see. So if that's adding to the basket item table. So if we go to our database at the moment, I'm using this online database. So you could go here, basket item. So if we execute here, you see there's nothing in my table at the moment. Oh, there is a few actually. Okay, that's from my tests. Okay, interesting. So there are a few items in there, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to add more items in there. So what I'm going to be doing here, I'm going to use the add fruit to basket method. So if I'm going here, I'm going to say here, so this is going to be my fruit basket dot add fruit to basket. And that's going to be my fruit ID that I'm adding, followed by the basket ID, followed by the quantity. Okay. So we're creating all these entries, and then what we're doing currently, once we added the entry, we redirect. Okay. So if we go back, we say refresh. And in this case, I will say apples. Let's add 13 apples and we submit. Okay, so now currently it's coming back. If I run a query over here, let's see if I see anything with 13 in my table. Lo and behold, there's 13 there. Okay, fruit ID is 1. So if I go to the basket ID is 39, that was our basket ID. Was 39. So things seems to be working. So at the moment, there's nothing on our screen. The fruits in the basket is not showing. Okay, so for us for that to work, we need to do an extra call to the factory function. So in the factory function, there is this get basket items. Okay, so this will actually display all this information for us. So what I need to do is call this with a basket ID in the screen, in the edit screen. Okay, so over here. So I basically also here need to say await. I need to say fruit basket dot get basket items, and then I say basket ID. Okay, so what I have here, so if I do this const, I have basket items. Okay, so now I have the basket items here, and I also need to send this to the front end. Okay, so basket items, it's going through there. So what I'm doing is we have basket items. So basket items should now be added here. Okay, look down, there's a loop down here. So this should be basket items. So if we refresh this, so let's have a look what's happening. Okay, so currently basket items, each basket items, TD. Okay, so let's just see. So we have TD here. So we've got problems with our table tags. Table data tags, didn't do that right. Refresh that. Okay, see what's happening. You can see there's something, quantity of 13, which looks right. So now let's have a look with the data that we actually have. The way we can do that is by just doing a console.log on basket items. Okay, let's have a look. Console.log on basket items, and let's see then what we have. So if I refresh the screen and I have a look here, so we actually have all of this information here: fruit ID, basket ID, name. We've got all of these things here. We even have the total price. So in this case, I can put name and total price onto the screen. Okay, so I can put, so going here, so I just need to put name here, and I need to put total price over here. So if I refresh that now, let's see, I've got apples, 13 of them, and that's the total cost. So now I can say bananas and give me 3 bananas, submit that, and now I have bananas, and that's kind of a thing here. So what we could also do, we could put the price of the fruits next to them into the dropdown. To do that, we can go here, and then we can say, I think, yeah, we can say something like price, okay? So we could do like something like this, and I can put a little rand sign there. So let's see what that does. Okay, so looking at it, you can see now we can see how much each one of them costs, okay? So maybe I can put an add sign there. I don't know. Add, okay. So we can have these ones. So this way you can select the fruit. So if I, okay, that's one. So if I put one pallet of grapes there, that should be 23.90, which it is, okay? So at the moment we don't have, if I were to add a blank entry here, so if I do this, it will cause all kinds of troubles, okay? So it doesn't cause too many issues. Invalid syntax for integer. You see, there is an error there. At the moment, if I don't do anything, nothing happened on my screen so much, but behind the theme scenes, you can see things are not so lacquer. But okay, so looking at this, you can see that my edit route calls quite a few methods on my factory function. It's getting the actual basket, put that in there, getting the list of fruits for the drop down, and then it is getting the items from the database. And we are showing all of that using a for loop here at the bottom to see the table, okay? So at the moment, we can add apples again. Nothing stops us. This will create a new entry in our database. Something you could do maybe is to see, hey, to consolidate these two, if I add more oranges, and I say, give me 7, then we will go and we'll show that on there. But okay, but so quickly now you can see using the factory function, we can get all the information we need. The important thing again was this ID that get passed. So if you go one step back, so at this given point in time, one thing to note, so let's just go back to basket. Is it basket? It's not basket. So if we go back to root here, so if I click on apples deluxe, okay, see there's nothing in there. If I go back to orange hamper, nothing there. So my test fruit basket. So this one have some entries in them. See, that's my previous one, fruit mix 101. That's the one we've been using. So in this case, I want to do apples. And then maybe in this apple basket, I say, give me a lot of apples. Give me 12 apples. Okay. So later on, if we have different types of apples, maybe we can put that into the basket as well. But so that is just to show you. So what we really maybe want is maybe on the basket screen, so on the edit screen. So what I'm going to do here, fruit in the basket. So we're going to go here, update basket. So I'm just going to have the anchor tag here. Okay. The reference is like that. And I'll just say back. Back. Okay. So let's just see what that looks like. Okay, so back, and it takes us back to all baskets. Okay, so I'll add that there. Let's see if I do this, back to all baskets, Control R. What? Didn't save that, Control R. Okay, so if I click here, I click on edit, back to all baskets. If I click here, it'll take me back to this list. So as you can see at the moment, we can't see the total cost of the basket. So we'll come back and we'll add that. At the moment, you can see individual baskets on each basket. Did I add fruits just now? Apple Deluxe, I thought I added. I got 2 of them. Okay, the one we added earlier with the tab in its name. So as you can see, so now our baskets are working quite well, and I've done this all off the back of existing factory function that was already used. It was already created. All that I had to do is to make sure I call the right methods on the factory function. So the important thing is actually to go to the factory function and see what each method is doing, and then you can go from there. So at this point in time, I think we're always using all the methods in the factory function. We're creating a basket. We add fruits to the basket. So we haven't done these 2 yet. We can remove. We're listing fruits for the dropdown, listing baskets for the overview, getting a basket for the edit screen, and also get basket items. So we now are actually using all the methods in the factory function to create our basket application. So, and what we are doing, we're combining Express.js to get parameters coming in either from the URL, or we do rec.body when data is coming in from a form. So here I've rec.params for my basket ID, and then all the other ones for rec.body for the form. Okay, and then here I can clean it up. So at this point in time, our basket is working. So when we come back, we're going to look at how to add totals. And then over and above that, we're also going to start moving to a point where we want to make sure that baskets can be allocated to specific users. But yeah, that's something we look at for now. That is just how to use your factory function, and how to link that to